Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Abrams. I'm a Queens College student, co-majoring in mathematics and secondary education. Today we'll be talking about mnemonic devices, what they are, and how they could be used in a 6th grade mathematics classroom. But before going over mnemonic devices, I thought I'd start the day off with a fun activity involving pizza. 4 friends at a pizzeria ordered one whole huge cheesy pizza pie. Because it was so big, they all equally shared one half of the pizza pie. The question we are looking for is how much pizza does each person get? That is an interesting question, but we don't have the tools yet to solve this problem. We're going to answer this question at the end of the presentation. And right now, go over the lesson of dividing fractions by whole numbers. Now, when it comes to dividing fractions by whole numbers, keep in mind you're just multiplying the denominator number of the fraction by the whole number. And that will be your new denominator. Also, if a fraction needs to be reduced, we just simplify it. So I have an example on the left-hand side of me, which is 1/4 divided by 3. Now all we just need to do is leave the denominator number alone, which is 4. And instead of dividing by 3, we just multiply 4 by 3. And that gives us 1 over 4 times 3, and that equals 1/12. So that's it. We're done. So with this idea, it may be hard for students, especially for those who are first learning. It may be hard for those to know this. It may be hard for them to understand and memorize how to do this. So is there any easier way or method or strategy of solving this? The answer, yes. We are going to be using mnemonic devices to help us understand how to divide fractions by whole numbers. They are considered memory strategies. They help us develop ways of remembering any amount of content better. And you just link information you learn with different information. So what that means is, if students are given a lot of information, it's going to be hard for them to memorize or even understand the content. But if you already learned information, so if you have prior knowledge, what you've learned in the past, you can connect that to what you are currently learning right now. And that information can be relevant, irrelevant, even funny, whatever it takes for you to help memorize that content better, what you're learning right now. So right now, I have an example of someone using mnemonic devices. We're going to be watching a video of someone, especially that someone from Modern Family, the television show. Let's watch now.
Hey, it's that guy who came by earlier who's really interested. What's his name? Shoot! Well, you can't be in sales and not remember people's names. That's why I like to use what they call mnemonic devices, or little tricks to help you remember. The other day I met this guy named Carl. Now, I might forget that name, but he was wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt. What's a band like the Grateful Dead? Fish. Where do fish live? The ocean. What else lives in the ocean? Coral. Hello, Carl.
Okay, to summarize what happened in the video, all he was doing was memorizing the name of someone who he met or already know by just relating his name to another thing. So the name Carl, he remembered the name Carl by relating it to a piece of coral, which is in the ocean. So mnemonic devices helped him memorize the name of someone. So I've looked up a journal article which is called Comprehensive Review of Mnemonic Devices and Their Applications, State of the Art. So according to this article, it is effective for all students, especially for those with learning and other mild disabilities. Mnemonic devices can even help teach computational skills. And mnemonic devices, there are many opportunities for mnemonic devices to be used in mathematics. And I even pulled up a quote. It seemed very important. Research findings indicate that students with learning disabilities learn more content in shorter instructional time periods when mnemonic strategies are developed and presented by teachers. So the fact is, that there are many math topics, and it's a good idea to start using mnemonic devices in each math topic. That way, it'll be easier for students to memorize and understand the material better. So, there are many types of mnemonics for improving memory, but we're going to go over one type, only because that will be used for dividing fractions by whole numbers. So, and that one type is an acronym. It's a word and it can be made up too. It is made from the first letters of the words to be learned. So, an example of an acronym would be the word itself, acronym. So, as we look at how acronym is spelled, each of the letters represents something. The A in acronym stands for abbreviation, and reading all the letters down to M, the M stands for memory technique, and it just so happens it's a memory technique as well, mnemonic devices. So it's very interesting. And I even came up with an acronym of my own for this lesson. It's called KCF. So the K stands for keep. We are keeping the first term. The C in KCF stands for change. We are changing the sign. In other words, the division sign changes into a multiplication sign. And the F in KFC stands for flip. We are flipping the second term. So in other words, we are changing the positions of the numerator and the denominator. So again, KCF stands for keep, change, flip. Or just for fun, I came up with Kentucky Chicken Fried. Now, it sounds very familiar to Kentucky Fried Chicken, but no, we are going to be using Kentucky Chicken Fried in order to memorize KCF, or keep, change, flip. So, if you want to think of other acronyms for KCF, go right ahead. Whatever it takes for you to memorize how to divide fractions by whole numbers. So we are going to try that example again with a web-based creation, Poplet. So on the left-hand side of me, I did solve this problem using Poplet. It's a very useful web-based creation. I mean, as you can see, I already drew on there. You can also type and add photos to it. So it's very useful. Again, so 1/4 divided by 3. So this time we're going to be doing that with KCF. Now, 1/4 divided by 3. So the first term, 1/4, we are keeping it the way it is. The division sign, we are changing from a division sign to a multiplication sign. And finally, we are flipping 3. Now 3 is also the same as 3/1. So we are switching the positions of the numerator and the denominator. So 3/1 becomes 1/3. So now 1/4 divided by 3 is the same as 1/4 times 1/3. And that gives us 1/12. So the same answer as before, only this time we used KCF. So now we're going to go over the fun activity involving pizza. I'll read the question again. 4 friends at a pizzeria ordered one whole pizza pie. They all equally shared 1/2 of the pizza pie. How much pizza does each person get? So not only do you need to know how to use KCF, but you also need to read the question very carefully for what it's asking you for. So we have 4 friends who shared 1/2 of the pizza pie. So already our first clue is 1/2. So the first term is 1/2. And it is shared among 4 friends. So the second term is 4. So we already have our terms. And we just need to do is use KCF. So 1/2 divided by 4. So again, the first term we leave alone, and the division sign we change into a multiplication sign, and 4 or 4/1. 4/1 now becomes 1/4. So now we have 1/2 times 1/4 equals 1/8. Therefore, each person gets 1/8 of the pizza pie. So in conclusion, when dividing fractions, you just need to keep in mind of the acronym KCF. So why? It helps you focus on one term at a time. It can easily help you solve step by step. And math work shown is more organized as well. So right now, I have a classwork assignment for the students. There are 15 problems. Now, the first 5 are in green. That's because the green colored problems are considered easy, especially for some students who are trying to understand the material and trying to get used to it. Now, the second set of 5 problems are listed in yellow. That's the medium level, where students are like, okay, so I can so I'm trying to like get used to this, but I can maybe challenge myself a little more. And finally, the last 5 problems. So those are the challenging ones. So that's 11 to 15. They are challenging. So I'm only asking students to do only 5 problems and choose which colors they like to do. So, I mean, some students can do problems that are in green, some students can do problems that are in yellow, and some students can do problems that are in red. They don't even have to do all the problems in that certain color. They can work on the few in green, yellow, and red, just to like show me that they are understanding and they're making progress with this lesson. So this is where I got my information from the journal article. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.